what is up guys, I welcome each and every one of you to this new video of eGarage, where we are gonna be looking at Lexus Is250. If you are looking to buy a second generation Lexus IS, you're gonna be met with essentially a couple of engine choices. First of all, we have the diesel, which is the Is220 diesel, then we have the Is250 and Is350. And there are some rare models like the Is300, which I believe are only for the Middle East market. Today we are sitting in the Is250 and I'm gonna tell you all about this car. Generally, if I had the chance, I would more gladly be sitting in an Is350, as the Is250 is a little bit underpowered for my liking. Of course, it is not like a very slow car, but by 2024 standards it is actually kind of slow. But other than that, this is a 2006 model and you're gonna be lacking essentially none the features that the newest cars have. You have a lot of airbags, you have the knee airbag, which was like huge innovation back in the day. Very few cars even today have the knee airbag, and of course all the side curtain airbags and all of that. You have a ton of features like heated, ventilated seats, you have multifunctional steering wheel, you have your cruise control. Some of the models came with adaptive cruise control that can essentially track the speed of the car in front of you so that you don't have to brake. The car brakes it by itself and then it accelerates when the road is clear. You have heated windshield, you have heated windshield wipers, which is of course one more innovation. You have adjustable seats, electronically adjustable seats in like 18 different directions. It is amazing. It has a lot of features, and some of the models came with navigation, most of them I would say. It has a very cool looking instrument cluster, gauge cluster, and essentially everything that you need. Electronic sunroof, auto dimming rear view mirrors, and I can go ahead and name more and more and more of the features of these cars. This car comes with two gearboxes. One of them is the manual gearbox, which we have right here, and then we have a 5-speed automatic gearbox. Only driven the Is250 in manual and automatic, and I can definitely say that the manual is legs up ahead of the automatic. The automatic is a little bit sluggish and it makes the car feel even slower than it already is. Some more features that you have: automatic headlights, automatic windshield wipers. The car runs an impressive sound system. Even if it isn't the special like Mark Levinson one, it is still amazing and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. If you get the Mark Levinson one though, you're gonna be having a good day. I'm just gonna give you a sample sound of the car with the cats off. That is what I thought. This car sounds absolutely phenomenal. It doesn't even matter whether it is the Is250 or Is350. The moment that you get rid of the cats, this car opens up and sounds like a straight up F1 car. Those cars are extremely reliable, and if you're searching for an affordable yet reliable and somewhat sporty car, I would definitely go for the Is. I think I've said enough about the car, so let's just jump straight to the driving experience. When it comes to driving the car, I'd say that it performs actually pretty good. Mine has the Bilstein shocks, which definitely add up to the feeling of the car and the sporty like performance, and I'm very happy with that, honestly. Generally speaking, it rides a little bit rougher than the GS, and actually not a little bit, it rides quite a bit rougher than the GS. And honestly, I had a dilemma myself whether I should go for the IS or the GS, and first I went with the GS and then I bought an IS, and then now I'm selling my IS, and you know, it is kind of tough. But if you are in such a dilemma whether to buy the IS or the GS, it really depends. Both cars are absolutely amazing. I've had no issues with either one of them, and it really depends on what you're searching for. If you are searching for performance, for like cornering, I'd say you should definitely go with the IS. And IS is like a lot better suited for like urban conditions, because the GS is very like long. It is extremely long. It is kind of hard to find parking space for it, and if you are searching for an urban car, I definitely go with the IS. Now if you're searching for a highway car, a car that you're gonna primarily drive to other towns, highways, or you know, all that kind of stuff. I definitely go with the GS. The GS is by far the more comfortable car of the two. It definitely has a different feel to it, and especially the smallest engine in the GS is the Is350, which is quite a bit faster than the Is250. So if you're searching for a straight line performance as well as some comfortable ride, I'd go with the GS. It is actually kind of hard. I definitely advise you to go ahead and take a look at an Is and then at a GS, and eventually make your decision based on your preferences and your feelings, really. How did you feel about the car that you're driving? One thing that I feel like I have to mention about both of the cars is the fact that it doesn't matter whether you have the navigation or not, because it is pretty outdated. It doesn't even matter if you get the newest disc for it. Essentially, it is very dated. It is really unusable. Maybe for music and stuff, yeah, but that's pretty much it. You can buy aftermarket navigation, Chinese ones. They have Android and they are very useful. They have Waze and all of that. And if you get a better quality one, you can even have better audio, or at least save the audio from the beautiful speakers that are already pre-installed into the car. My sunglasses on with me, but it's fine. Fortunately, we are going the other way around. So yeah, in general it is an amazing car, and its main selling points are obviously its reliability. Toyota, Lexus, you know. It is a very decent sporty car if you're not searching for a rocket. If you want a very fast and sporty car, you should opt for the Is350. However, in Europe it seems that there are essentially none of them, or they are very rare. And yeah, if you want that sporty feeling, you can get the Is250 with the manual gearbox, which is also pretty rare. But yeah, that is the trade-off with it. Of course, if you have just one child and you are on the market for a new car, you can definitely say to your wife that this is the perfect family car, as you know, it has ISOFIX, it has a lot of airbags, including knee airbags and all of that. So it is a very safe car, and yeah, it is definitely a good family car. All jokes aside though, the car is actually in the compact side of things, and definitely it is gonna be kind of hard to put 5 people in it. It is gonna be kind of hard to put a child seat in it and all of that. So yeah, even an adult sometimes can find it difficult to stay at the back seat if he's, you know, beefier, bigger. But other than that, this is actually a more reliable BMW in my view, and it, by a far, I mean. And it rides more comfortable than a BMW. It is obviously not faster than BMW, at least most of its models. But in my view, this car looks better than the E90. It drives better than the E90. It is more luxurious than the E90. And yeah, the only trade-off is that it is kind of slow. If you of course go with the Is250, if you somehow manage to find an Is350, I would hands down go with that car. If you think of going with the diesel engine, I would definitely advise you against buying the diesel. Now, it is still kind of reliable. Let's say it's more reliable than, let's say, an Audi, but you're generally not gonna be happy with the car itself. You're going to start hating Lexus because of it. This engine has not been developed for a Lexus. This is a straight up engine from a Toyota, and pretty obvious evidence is that this is the only diesel engine that Lexus ever produced.